Okay, so we're going to start talking about safety, what it means to have a safety program, and a lot of this gets started with IIPPs in Hollywood, and it comes from OSHA. And I was reminded the reason I started it out this way. Does anybody know what OSHA means? Administration, yeah. Okay. It's also a safety act and things like that. And I've been told I got to worry about how much swag I'm giving out. Does anybody want a safety particle mask? We have lots of those. No used ones. But it's all about having the program, and it comes. There is no federal guideline that says you have to have a plan or a program, but they do offer a guideline, which we'll talk more about. And I'm always of the opinion that if the person who is regulating you and has enforcement abilities over you and they're giving you a suggestion, it's probably good to take the suggestion. So,
yeah, I mean, so the high level, the top level thing to really be concerned about is OSHA's general duty clause. And it says, the employer shall furnish a place of employment free of recognized hazards that are causing or likely to cause death or serious physical harm. Underneath that, they actually have a duty for the employee, which is to comply with all the occupational safety and health rules. So it's really top level. It really encompasses everything that has to happen. You have to provide the workplace, and the employee has to follow the rules. It covers a lot of things there.
And it also goes to what we had talked about with collaboration, is you as the employer are having rules and want us to do things, and we're supposed to help.
Yeah, and so the IIPP is a term that California uses and other states use. It's the Injury and Illness Prevention Program, and it's very specific. There's 8 requirements that you have to have as part of your IIPP, and we'll talk through that in a different way throughout the course of today. But it's the 8 parts of the IIPP are responsibility, compliance, communication, hazard assessment, accident investigation, correction, training and instruction, and record keeping. As we go through the equivalent federally, we'll hit on those things in different names, but the concepts are the same. The OSHA tried to pass a IIPP standard across the states. That never passed, but they did in October 2016 release guidance and have a whole program that small businesses basically can follow that lays out the parts that you need to be effective. They have those on the OSHA website. It's a really good website. It's got tools. It's got samples. It's a really great resource that Jenny talked about earlier.
Also, up on the screen now is the top one. That's the actual OSHA guideline. And it's more than just like a PDF that gives guidelines. It has a whole bunch of tools that you can use. And I'm going to give you one little thing of caution. Mr. Ottoman will tell you that we've got to be careful about boilerplate, because if you get boilerplate stuff, you tend to say, well, these people are covering, they've given me everything I need to cover to be safe, and yet that's not necessarily true. You're still expected to go through for your own specific issues that's going on. The Event Horizon, when that failed, one of the things they got cited for was their plan that they're supposed to have from the Department of Energy is to the dangers that the people that go on with having that platform. And one of the dangers were polar bears. How many polar bears do you have in the Gulf? Okay. The reason that they did it is that the company BP had these same boilerplate documents for their platforms in the Alaska area. So polar bears were appropriate there. Okay. So look at these, because the second one here is you can get it as a PDF. It's a document, it's a boilerplate that is from Cal OSHA that will put together your IIPP, put a name on it and be able to follow it. And you can actually find lots and lots of things from different OSHAs around. You are in, does anybody know whose jurisdiction you're under in Georgia? Because there's I think it's 26 states have their own OSHA. Okay? So it's Fed OSHA here. Do, yeah. Do you want swag? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So there's 26 states and there's like 27 who don't. And you say, what? That doesn't sound like right, Matt. That's alternate news or something. It has to do with
alternate fact.
Alternate. There you go. Alternate fact is that
Popular these
OSHA
days.
does cover Puerto Rico, other places that are under the United States jurisdiction. So, did you have more? No. Okay. Any questions about this? And one of the great things when I do classes all the time, because we like to draw out from people, because a lot of times what I found in adult education is that you come into one of these things and you guys know, somebody in the room knows what's going on and you can elicit things. We're trying to get an awful lot of stuff in. Can't really wait for the knowledge to come out, but you can elicit the stuff. You guys know what's going on. And there's things that obviously none of us know everything. But the great thing is you all have in front of you at your fingertips more information that's ever been available in the history of the world. And use it. Google's a wonderful thing. And there's lots of good stuff to be able to go and find about safety. Sometimes a little difficult to figure out and go through, but there's wonderful information out there. So, okay. All right, so this is what's kind of the part of the basic program that Matt laid out. Okay, so these are what, and one of the things that's really interesting is, one of the things that's really interesting with this is that you can go through all kinds of organizations. So OSHA, ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, ISO, the International Standards Organization. There's all these different places that will put together an occupational health and safety program. They all define it. Okay? So there's dozens of them, and they all are the same because it's common sense. Management has to be part of it. In fact, one of the greatest things about doing this class today is Vance being here. Well, and he laughs, but I do classes all the time, and the boss doesn't show up, let alone sit through it. Okay? This is something that you want to show a commitment to what's going on, show up and be part of it. Even if you don't talk and do anything, but you're showing the crew, you're showing your people that you are vested in what's happening. All right? Because I always remember you can usually tell a bad production, there's somebody up at the top who isn't very good and the fish stinks from the head. It's a bad production because somebody at the top isn't very good. Well, the reverse is true. It's good because somebody up there wants this to happen. It doesn't happen without the commitment from management. All right? Worker participation, hazard identifications, these are all supposed to be bullet points. We're going to go into more detail. Education and training, program evaluation and improvement, and consultation or independent contractors, other people on the workplace. All right?